Needless to say, everything was crazy tonight, and this is just the beginning. I'm a complete mess, so I'm gonna get to bed and then we'll figure out what's going on in this country tomorrow. Right now I just left my Airbnb in Nouakchott and I'm just walking around trying to find some of the necessities. I've got a bottle of water and I didn't actually pay anything for it because the shop owner could not find me any change. His name was Musa, really great guy, and I told him I'm gonna make sure I come back to his shop when I have change and pay him back. Right now just walking around this neighborhood trying to take care of some of the necessities, including getting my SIM card, trying to take some money out from an ATM. All of that hasn't happened yet, but the sun is beating down. When I left the Airbnb about 30 minutes ago, it was 75 degrees. Now it's about to hit 85 degrees. And my watch is telling me that peak temperatures are gonna be 95 degrees today. So I have no idea how I'm gonna handle that other than drinking a bunch of water and trying to stay in the shade where I can. Honestly, being here in Nouakchott and in Mauritania in general is like nothing else imaginable. The best way I can describe it is when you're in a dream and you know you don't exactly belong in that place and you think you're about to wake up, and that split second when you're not fully awake but you're still being that version of yourself that you are in that parallel world in your dream, it feels like that is just constant. That split second moment is just constant for me here in Mauritania. So I'm walking down a residential street in the Tayyarat neighborhood where I'm staying. Really, there are no street names or anything. You just have to look at the location on the map, drop a pin there, and then sort of figure out where you're at while using landmarks. And so I was walking down the main street back there, didn't want to pull my camera out. Just walking back and make sure, oh, did I recognize this sign from when I walked here or not? So kind of taking that strategy when heading back home as well. Though I've got the pin for the Airbnb dropped on my map on Google Maps. Luckily I was able to get my SIM card working. After 20 minutes it took a little bit of time for it to be activated and all. And you might also be wondering why I have a buff on, but we're literally in the middle of the desert right now. It's unbelievable. Nouakchott is not just adjacent to the desert as many other cities, you know, in Tunisia or Morocco might be. This is literally in the middle of the desert. The entire country is about 90% desert. So you can see there's sand, dust. The whole city is just covered in it. So when the wind blows or when there's a breeze, it flies everywhere. So I've got a buff on to protect my nose and mouth, and sunglasses for my eyes because the sun burns down strong. Hopefully when I film a little bit later, you'll notice that the people here do wear their native clothes rather than Western clothes. Even men do wear their local clothes on top of their shirt and pants. And the clothes for both men and women are meant to protect against the elements, ensure that your nose, mouth, and body is covered for protection against the dust, sand, and the sun. You'll notice men wearing the traditional dara, which is a blue, white, gold sort of coverall on top of your regular clothes. And then for women, you'll see a really colorful fabrics, almost like saris, which cover the head and the body, called the ملحفة.
اوكي فكمان دول بعض الشباب اللي انا لقيتهم هنا في الطيارة. انتوا كلكم ساكنين هنا في نواكشوط.
ساكنين في نواكشوط.
وايه اكتر حاجة ان انتوا بتحبوا في نواكشوط؟
بنحبوا شوارعنا هذا واهلنا.
ايه
وانه نحن حياتنا كرة القدم.
كرة القدم. اوكي بتلعبوا هنا في الشوارع والدراسة. اهم حاجة الدراسة. انت
دراسة القرآن.
القرآن. اوكي انت حفظت القرآن ولا؟
لا
لسه ولا هتحاول؟ حاول. صعب. وانت دارس القرآن من كم سنة؟
أنا درست القرآن من 6 سنوات.
من 6 سنوات. والله الحمد لله عليكم.
لا.
وانتوا لو كان في ناس جايين من برا موريتانيا هتقول ليهم ايه يعني عن الموريتانيا او عن نواكشوط وعن الموريتانيين؟
هنشرفوهم ونقول لهم انه راح يحصلوا على احسن ضيافه في بلدنا، واهله والله اهله 100 اهله وسهله، واللي بيحبوه. احنا دولتنا مليئه بالاماكن السياحيه، مليئه جدا، بالاخص نواكشوط واتار.
انا حروح اطار بعد نواكشوط
ان شاء الله طريق السلامه.
ان شاء الله. وشنكيتي
ان شاء الله بالسلامه.
شكرا.
شكرا لك.
ايه تاني انتوا عايزين تقولوا ايه حاجه تانية على الكاميرا؟ لا
شكرا ودان، تابعوا كلكم، تابعوا متابعه، لا تنسوا الاشتراك.
شكرا.
As you can see, Mauritania might have a bad reputation, or in some circumstances, just no reputation at all. And I really didn't know what to expect when I got here, but people have been really welcoming so far. As long as you make the first move and say salam to them, or else people just don't know what to do with you. These are some of the typical residential streets here in Nouakchott in the Diyaret area. As you can see, they're kind of mixed use. For example, behind me, you've got a boulangerie, you've got a little convenience store here, and then my Airbnb is just down the street. And the Airbnb is actually right next to a hospital as well. So after lunch, which lunch was really good, I figured I should lay down because I guess that's a natural thing to do when it's like 95 degrees and it's burning and you just ate food and there's nothing really else you can be doing in the middle of the day. So I laid down for a bit and then I'm like, oh wait, I am here in Nouakchott. Like, I've got to be taking advantage of the fact that I'm here and get out and do something, even though the easy option is just to lay down. I mean, it was a classic case of FOMO that I'm in such an interesting place. I've got to get out, I've got to go do something, but it's just way too hot. It's way too hot. The heat literally drains you of energy. And then on top of that, you're like outside. The moment you step outside, you're like dodging cars, trying to be aware of your surroundings, ensuring that like you've got all your stuff on you. It's just like really mentally taxing. And plus on top of that, it's really hard to get around here. I mean, maybe it's also just because it's my first day, but I have no idea how the public transportation system works. And that's very natural. But I was able to grab a shared taxi, which I didn't even realize was a shared taxi when I got in, because I was the first person on the taxi, to La Capitale, which is, I guess, it's the area named after the market. And they said they would drop me off at La Capitale in the marketplace. And then like 6 other people also got into the taxi. But I only paid, they call it 200 ouguiya, which is actually 20 ouguiya, which is like, I don't know, 75 cents. So I paid my money and then I got off the taxi at the La Capitale market. And of course, it's a marketplace, and it's a marketplace in West Africa. So it's crazy, it's intense, it's sprawling all over the place. And I'm realizing I'm just gonna want to walk the other way to get to the northern areas where, you know, you're closer to the diplomatic zone, and there's some galleries I wanted to check out. A gallery called Zainart that I wanted to check out. And so I figured I was walking toward the northern areas, but actually I was like walking south. So I was walking all the way through the market. And then once I realized I was making the mistake and walking the wrong direction, I turned back around and walked through the entire market all over again, through the crowds, through the traffic and everything, and trying to like dodge everything that's coming at you. So that was a fun time. Then I kept walking north and I was able to find the gallery, took a little tour around there. I'll drop some footage here. It was cute. It was a nice little respite from the noise and craziness of the city. And then I guess I should just figure out exactly how I'm going to get back to Diyaret, to where I'm staying. Because it seems like taxis only go to certain areas from certain areas, and if you don't know which certain areas match up together, then you're not going to get to where you're going. And the drivers will just refuse you. So I asked a guy, and he pointed me to where taxis would probably take me back to Diyaret Pekin, where I'm staying. Then I saw this really nice hotel on the way, and it advertised that it has like a rooftop restaurant and cafe. So I went in. Rooftop isn't open yet, but still just here by the pool. Figured I'd get some tea and get some R&R from my vacation. Well, this isn't really a vacation, just a little R&R from today. It's been a long day. And trust me, there is no Mauritania for dummies on the internet. Like, nobody visits here. It's one of the least densely populated countries, least visited countries in the world. And the funny thing is, even if you try to access a couple blog posts that try to tell you what to do around the city, it's blocked. I had to turn on a VPN to open up a website on what to do in Nouakchott.